Good morning, students. So let us start the session 3 of chapter 9, constructors and destructors. So let me recall what are the concepts which we discussed in session 1 and session 2. So that is in part 1 and part 2. So in part 1 I discussed the definition of a constructor, the syntax of a constructor, and then what else we discussed? We discussed the characteristics of a constructors, and I gave one typical program example how you have to define a constructor. Is it right? So let me recall the definition of a constructor. The definition of a constructor is means a constructor is a special member function that is automatically called when an object is created. And the most important characteristics of a constructor is it will always be declared in the public section of a class, and the class name of the constructor should be the same name of the class. I'll repeat again, the name of the class should be the same name of the constructor, and the constructor is always declared in the public part of the class. Okay, students? So we discussed the types of constructors. The one type is default constructors, or it is also called as zero parameterized constructor, and also we discussed parameterized constructor, and in today's session we will be discussing on this copy constructor. Okay, students? So default constructor, in the sense we are not passing anything we are not passing anything to the function, so that is zero parameterized constructor or a default constructor. Okay, students? And parameterized constructor, in the sense you are actually passing the arguments to the constructor. Okay, students? So let us move on to today's concept, that is invoking a constructor. So how you can actually invoke a constructor, in the sense a constructor is automatically invoked by C++ compiler with an object declaration. So whenever there is an object declaration, we can actually invoke the constructor. Is it right? So this can be done in two ways. So one is implicit call, another one is explicit call. So what is this implicit call and explicit call? We'll see in the following slides. Okay, so the implicit call means the declaration of the object is followed by the argument list enclosed in the parenthesis. So whatever here it is given, so that will be enclosed with the argument list, that is implicit call. Okay, so the object declaration will always be enclosed within this parenthesis, is called as implicit call. So let me give a program example to understand this still more clearly. See, I have declared a class num, and the constructor name is num, that is number. I am passing m comma n as an argument. So this is a parameterized constructor, and even I am assigning the values of a and b to the m and n, and just I am displaying the values of a and b here. Okay, so this is called through the main function. So here you are just representing the values inside this. So this is called as what? Implicit function. Okay, students? So I hope you understood. See, once again I'll repeat. From the main function I am just passing the two values. So this is called as implicit call. So we are declaring the object by passing the parameters. Okay, students? So this has to be passed to this display function. Okay, so how it is passed? With the help of this number constructor. See, number m comma n. Okay, students? So this is the implicit call. So here the output obtained will be 10, 20, another output will be 40 and 50. Okay, students? So let me move on to the next concept, that is explicit call. The declaration of the object is followed by the assignment operator, constructor name, and argument list enclosed in the parenthesis. It is called as explicit call. Okay, students? So this explicit call will be always followed by the equals, and also the constructor name and the argument list. So this is called as explicit call. So here you always give assignment operator, so that is equals to. Okay, so this is done like follows. So this method is used for the constructor with exactly one argument. If you are having one argument, then you can use explicit invoking methods. If you are having two or more methods, then you have to use implicit method. Okay, students? So this was the concept which was left over in the parameterized constructor concept. So next we'll move on to the copy constructor concept. Okay, so copy constructor is a parameterized constructor. Using one object, we can be copied to another object. As a name itself it indicates, it is copying something. Is it right? So it is also parameterized constructor. For example, A I am taking. So this value will be copied to B, object B. So then in that case it is called as copy constructor. So where and all it is used in the sense, so to initialize the object with the values which is already existed. So in that situation, this copy constructors are used, and also when an object must be returned as a function values, at the time also it is used. Okay, students? So this was the concept of copy constructor. Copy constructor means what? It is also a parameterized constructor. Using one object, we can copy that object to another. So when it is used, when already we know the value of existing object, we can able to use this object value, and also returned type values we should know. At that time we should use this copy constructors. Okay, students? So next is to state objects as by value parameters of the function, then we can actually use this copy constructor. So objects, where are the objects are there? There we have to represent the copy constructors. Copy constructors can actually accept a single argument of reference to user class type. Actually it can have accept only single argument. Okay, the argument must be passed as a constant reference type. Means I have already told copy constructor will accept only one argument. Is it right? Only one argument. So this argument must be passed through constant reference time. Okay, so we'll understand by the syntax. See here, whenever we tell about address, always what comes to in your mind? Ampersand. So this should come to in your mind, that is ampersand pointer. Okay, see, class name is what? As usual, how you declare this. And here with the class name as a constructor name, you are just giving the class name, that is a constructor name, followed by the address pointer. So this is what? This is a copy constructor. Wherever you see this ampersand pointer, then you have to understand, so that is copy constructor. Okay, see, I will be explaining with an example. See, that is class num public num int n. So here a value is assigned to n. So that time, so this is one of the copy constructor. Is it right? You are assigning one value and you are retrieving its address with the help of ampersand. So with ampersand means you have to understand that a is equals to x dot a, means you are accessing this a's address with this help of x. So x is having what now? Ampersand. Okay, so you are getting the value of a, that is address of a, where with the help of this x. So x is what? Now it is an object with respect to number. So number is what? It is a copy constructor. I hope you all understood. Please go through this, and if you are having any doubts and if you are not understanding the concepts, you can call me. You just note and you should call. Okay. So next concept is the constructor overloading. See, you all know about function overloading. Is it right? Function overloading means what? Two or more functions having the same name and different number of parameters or different types of parameters. Is it right? In the same sense, the constructor can also be overloaded. Two or more classes having the same function name but different signatures are called as constructor overloading. Depending upon the type of the argument, the constructor will be invoked automatically by the initialization of the object. So this is how the constructor overloading is done. Okay, so this is a simple topic you have to understand. Okay, see, two classes will be having the same name but different parameters. Here also the same thing. Two or more constructors having the same function name but different signatures, that is called as constructor overloading. Okay, students. So next we'll move on to the destructors. So destructor is a special member function that is executed when an object of the class is destroyed. Usually with the help of the constructor, what will create? We'll create an object. In the same sense, constructors with the help of destructors, we are destroying. Destructor in the sense destroy. So this is also a member function. Whenever it is executed, it is destroyed. Okay, so destroying an object means deallocating all the resources such as memory, which is used for allocating the object by the constructor. So we are what? We are, for example, assume with the help of constructor we are actually filling the water bottle, but with the help of destructor we are removing the water from the water bottle. So assume this as a constructor. Destructor, with the help of destructor we are actually removing all the sources which was filled. Same wise here, memory was consumed, right? So that memory will be freed. Okay. So how the constructor name is mentioned? Constructor, same wise this destructor is also mentioned, but with the help of preceding with the help of this tilde symbol. We'll call it as tilde symbol. So with this tilde symbol we actually represent the destructors. Okay, students. See, now I'm just giving one syntax. See, this is what? First one is what? A constructor. Class name, class name, public class name. This is what? First line is what? Constructor. So this is what? Destructor. So here we have to mention this tilde symbol. Okay. So next example. So this is counter is what? It is a constructor, and here n value is initialized, and again with the help of this tilde symbol we are actually deallocating the memory which is installed, which is required for the number. Okay. So next we'll move on to the destructors characteristics. So okay, so destructors characteristic is what? It is always the same name of the class name, but it is preceded by this tilde symbol. Wherever you see this tilde symbol in any program in future, you have to understand that is a destructor. A destructor cannot take arguments, that therefore cannot be overloaded. So it cannot take arguments. So therefore it cannot be overloaded. Is it right? But constructor, how it can be overloaded? The destructor has no return type. Same as how the constructor was not having a return type, the destructor can also have no return type. there can be only one destructor in each class. Means only one destructor in each class. There cannot be having more than one destructor in each class. Okay, students? So this is the thing. So next, it should have public access in the class declaration. So that is, here in constructors also we used to declare the constructor in the public access specifier, is it right? So here also the destructor will also be declared in the public access. The destructor cannot be inherited. This point you have to note down. So destructors cannot always be inherited. So these are all the characteristics of a destructors. Once again I'll repeat. See, always a constructor, like constructor, destructors also have the class name but preceded with a tilde symbol, and it cannot be overloaded because it cannot take arguments, and there is no return type like a constructor, and in only one class there can have only one destructor, and it should always be declared in public access, and it cannot be inherited. That means it means destructors cannot be inherited. Okay, students, this was the concept of characteristics of destructors. Okay, so this was the last topic of this chapter. So let me recall what are the concepts which you should know. Key points: definition of a constructor, characteristics of a constructor, and need of constructors. And then types of constructors we are having: default, parameterized, copy constructor. And then we have the default constructor, the syntax and program example. Same as the parameterized constructor, syntax and program example. Copy constructor, syntax and program example. Okay, students, so these are the key points, and you have to write all the notes which we provide, and if you are having any doubts, try to call us. Okay, thank you all.